Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Davis and today is week 7 of my carnivore journey. This video is going to just be an update on my progress and challenges to date and where I'm headed next. Stay tuned. So I'm out for my evening walk and I didn't post a video last week. Not going to make excuses, I just didn't do it. I was a little bummed out, to be frank. I had finally reached a milestone early last week of finally getting underneath 200 pounds. I weighed in at 199. So I was ecstatic. The next day I weighed 198. And then the day after that, I went up to like 203. And then all week, it was just 200, 201. I couldn't get back underneath 200. So it was kind of depressing, to be honest. And so for the last 2 weeks, I've been really just kind of struggling on this journey. I haven't cheated, haven't varied off of the diet at all, still eating basically just red meat. Every once in a while I'll have a piece of chicken, very rare. It's basically just ground beef, 85-15, ground beef, ribeyes mainly, and a lot of chuck roast too. I've been making a lot of roast and stew meat, that type of stuff. And so yeah, that's kind of where I've been for the last couple of weeks. Some of the other challenges that I have been dealing with have been physical. So I had an issue with my left knee. The last walk that I did, which I want to say is probably a week ago. I haven't walked, I don't think, one day this week, maybe one, like last weekend. But that walk, my knee was just excruciatingly painful. I don't know what was going on, but it just felt very weak, very unstable. And so I kind of felt like I needed to give my body a little break maybe. But then earlier this week, I guess it's probably going on 4 or 5 days now, I've started experiencing numbness in my right thumb, pointer finger, and middle finger. I'm not sure why. I believe it started Sunday, so it's been 5 days now. It feels a little better today, but it's still very numb and tingly. I did, Google, of course, to see what might be going on, and the main thing that caught my eye was that it could be signs of, like pre-signs of stroke. I had a brain scan years ago, and it was, they said my brain was amazing. So I don't know what might be going on. It is one of, I have had surgery on both thumbs where they went in and removed my, oh my gosh, what's it called? I can't think of the name of the bone. Anywhere, there's a bone in your thumb that you get arthritis in that I've had both of those removed on both hands. And so the one on my right hand, which is where the numbness is, didn't heal quite correctly, I don't think. It's a little like it doesn't look normal. And so it does bother me now and then. So I don't know if maybe I slept on my arm wrong and it just caused like a pinched nerve in there somewhere, and it's just taking some time to reverse itself. It is something I'm monitoring, keeping an eye on. If I feel like it's getting worse, which it isn't, it's actually just pretty much lingering. But if I start experiencing any other random symptoms on top of that, I definitely will be reaching out to my doctor. So, on a positive side, let's talk about successes. So, the big one, and I mean big one, which is really one of the only ones that really matters, and which is the main reason I started this whole program and way of eating, was my blood pressure. My blood pressure, if you've been following along, used to be up there. Like it has been as high as like 195 over 90. I've been to the emergency room for it a couple of times, thought I was having a heart attack, but everything is checked out, right? My ticker is TikTok perfect, right? Like my heart is great. I just had high blood pressure and they couldn't really explain it other than my cholesterol was high. And so of course she wanted me to exercise and eat a better diet, which is what I've been doing now for 7 weeks. And I am ecstatic to say that I believe I counted it up, and for the last 11 days straight, my blood pressure has been in the green every single day. Woohoo! Like, I can't tell you how happy that makes me. That's huge. Second big success this week is I stepped back on the scale this morning. Oh my God. I love walking out here at night because the sunset is it's just incredible. I know it's probably not catching the light very well on this camera, but so I stepped on the scale this morning, 198.2. Finally, the scale has moved. I'm so happy. I just need it to continue to go in that direction. I know we're going back up over 200 because, man, that just jacks with your head, I gotta tell you. So, I don't want this video to sound like I'm disgruntled or disappointed. I mean, I may be, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm just ecstatic, right? In April, I weighed 225 pounds. So the fact that I weigh 198 today is huge. I'm getting back in clothes that I haven't worn for years. I just feel so much better in my own skin. I'm feeling younger. I don't feel as fatigued all the time like I used to. Every once in a while, I'll feel just like, okay, I need a break, I need a nap, I need to just not do anything today. But they're rare. Before, that was the rule. Like literally every day, it was a challenge for me to honestly get out of bed. Depression, just extreme fatigue, body aches like you just wouldn't imagine. So, so much of that has subsided, right? I have different body aches now. The body aches are from, I think, when I overdo my walking. But, and now these weird little numbing pains in my thumb and my knee issue, but not like the body aches, like just severe stomach upset. And I mean, my joints used to hurt, and I don't know how to explain it. I just felt old, like old. I mean, I will be 62 in a couple weeks, but I felt way beyond that. And so, yay. Blood pressure's down 11 days straight. 198, finally broke that 200-pound barrier. Staying on track. Every once in a while, I just get that crazy random thought. It isn't even a craving. It's just a thought about, ooh, brownies would sure taste good right now. Or, man, I'd love a bowl of ice cream. But I'm not giving in. I don't want to. And this is exactly what I did when I did hardcore keto for 2 years. I mean, I was strict. You could not tempt me with squat. I don't care. No. They used to try to get me to eat Tiff's Treats cookies all the time at work. And they'd wheel them. And I mean, if you're from Texas or ever been in Texas or have a Tiff's Treat in your area, Oh my God, best freaking cookies ever, ever. They serve them hot. They deliver them hot to you. So they just melt in your mouth. They're just, oh my God, freaking amazing. And they would wheel by and open the boxes and like literally put them in my face, knowing 2 years strict keto. No, thank you. No, thank you. Never failed. They would still put them in my face. Oh, you know you want one. You know you want one. Let me tell you, people, if you are on a health journey and you have a very particular strict way of eating, and you have friends, air quote, friends or family members that try to entice you, try to tempt you, try to shame you for not eating like everybody else, you need to set some really clear, healthy boundaries that that's not okay. Honestly, I mean, you might not like what I'm saying, but if they respected you and cared for you, they wouldn't do that. They just wouldn't. Especially if you had an addiction to food, right? Because that to me, that's the same as having somebody that's addicted to drugs or alcohol, and you putting, you keep offering them drugs and alcohol. It is legit the exact same thing, folks. So please, if you're surrounded by people like that, self-care, right? Protect your peace. So if you're on a carnivore journey currently, or you're thinking about starting a carnivore journey, I would love for you to share your journey with us, and me specifically, so that I can support you along the way. So share your story down in the comments. What are your struggles? What are your challenges? What are your victories, off scale and on scale? I'd love to hear and celebrate with you the things that are keeping you on track toward your goals, and as well as your challenges, so that we can all support each other on this journey. One other super small victory, but it just goes to show that you don't really realize the progress you're making until that aha moment, right? I went to put my Apple Watch on, and it had been getting like loose, and I just thought it was because it was stretching out. But I haven't had this Apple Watch but maybe a couple of months, literally, when I started my carnivore journey. So let's see, I started walking 6 weeks ago. I started carnivore 7 weeks ago. And I think I got my Apple Watch a week after I started walking. So let's just say I've had my Apple Watch for 5 weeks. I usually just wear it when I go walking, and sometimes I'll wear it when I go to bed to track my sleep. But it came with 2 of the little, bands. One was bigger and one was smaller. And I tried to put the small one on first because I didn't think my arms were big, and I couldn't even get it around my wrist. And so I had to use the bigger band, and I had to put it on the second hole on the band. And so today I thought, I'm going to see if I can swap out for that smaller band and see if it'll fit, and I'll be dadgum. I put it on, and it's literally on. I'm wearing it on the first hole. So it's, it's as big as it can be, but it's on and it's tucked. So, and it feels comfortable. It's not too tight. If I hadn't have been wearing this Apple Watch occasionally, I would not have noticed that progress. So I encourage you, to celebrate the little wins, regardless of how small they are. They all matter, and they all help to keep you motivated. So what are my thoughts so far, 7 weeks in? Tomorrow will be week 8, day 1, right? Best decision I've made health-wise in a very, very long time. I am kind of missing fruit and veggies, not gonna lie, but only because of the flavor. I think I mentioned it in my last video. I'm a flavor gal. I drink what I drink, I eat what I eat because of the flavor. If it doesn't taste good, I just can't. And that's what I crave, is the taste. And so, I'd love to dig into a big bowl of watermelon or some cantaloupe or pineapple. But with Hashimoto's hypothyroid, all of those things are really not good for me. But just eating meat, I'm not going to do this like for the rest of my life. I'm doing this as an elimination diet to figure out what foods that were messing with my gut, making me inflamed, raising my blood pressure, giving me high cholesterol, but bad cholesterol, not good cholesterol. And I know people are going to say, oh, eating all that red meat, you're going to have high cholesterol. Yep, sure am. And it's the kind of cholesterol that I want to have high. Please do your research. Our body has to have cholesterol to function. But the cholesterol that we get from eating shitty foods is not the kind of cholesterol that we need to fuel our bodies. So please do your homework and just get educated. I had to get educated as well, and I've had to do all of my own research. And that's why I've made the choices that I have to do this carnivore elimination diet. And honestly, I hate to say it, and I don't even want to go there, because I just don't think I'm willing at this point right now to give it up. And that's my heavy cream. I drink coffee every morning, sometimes 2 cups, and I put 2 tablespoons of heavy cream in each cup of coffee, along with sugar-free Torani pure hazelnut syrup. It has, might be stevia, but it doesn't have like the really bad, like dextrose or sucralose or any of those oses. Like that's the one thing I can honestly say I enjoy, and it brings me peace. My God, y'all, look at that sunset. Just glorious out here. And that's another thing, right? Like before April, there would be times I wouldn't leave my apartment unless I had to go into the office, which was only a couple of times a week. I just wouldn't leave my apartment unless I had to go to the grocery store. I just had no desire. I was too tired. I didn't feel like it. I got 0 exercise. 0. The steps I took was to get out of bed, go to the bathroom, go to the kitchen, go to the computer, back to the bed at night. Like that was the exercise I got. So the fact that I can now get out, I will say for the previous 6 weeks, except for this last week, I was getting out at least 6 days a week, 6 nights a week, and walking for at least an hour, usually a minimum of 2 to 2.5, sometimes 3 miles a night. And I'm back out here tonight because I just couldn't stand not being active again. Really trying to figure out, am I eating enough even? I am highly suspicious that I'm not, which could also lead to a stall in my weight loss, right? Because this really isn't about calories in, calories out. It's about the nutrition my body needs to function effectively. And I'm usually only eating 1 big meal a day. So I really do think I need to up that up, up the intake. I don't know what the optimum nutrition is, and most of the quote gurus say not to worry about it. Eat until you're satiated. And it doesn't really, don't worry about fasting, don't worry about any of that stuff until you become fat adapted, which clearly I am. I mean, I can't imagine that. God, you guys. God's glory. Like, I don't know how, you just can't deny it. But it's gorgeous. It's so amazing. Where was I? Oh, calories in, calories out. Don't worry so much about fasting. But I do want to, and I think I typically do fast, right? For probably at least 8 to 12 hours. And then of course, because I'm having heavy cream and butter in my coffee, that breaks my fast, but not by much. But then I don't eat, like I typically don't eat breakfast. My coffee is my breakfast. And I typically eat later in the evening, like usually after my walk. I'd really like to maybe try to get that swapped up so that I'm eating earlier in the day, and then I can fast from like, I don't know, let's just say 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening until the next morning. I think the sooner I can get that meal done in the day, it's just going to be better, because instead of eating later and then just, going in and laying down, I try to not eat 3 hours before I actually lay down. It doesn't always work out that way, because I'll go in and watch television and then I'm up late. I typically don't fall asleep until 2, 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning. It's ridiculous. So that's another thing that for me has not, hasn't corrected itself, is my sleep patterns. I mean, I'm getting tired of reporting on it, but they have not gotten any better. And I don't know what that is. I have read that there is such a thing as age-related insomnia. I don't know. I don't have any explanations for it. I just try to roll with it. But anyway, that's it for this week, folks. I'm going to make this as short and sweet as possible. I just thank you if you've been following my journey. I just appreciate the support and encouragement. And again, if you're on this same journey, I'd love to hear if you've experienced any setbacks or challenges that you've overcame. I could sure use the motivation and inspiration to keep going, even in these times when I'm feeling defeated. Even though I'm not feeling fully defeated right now, it's just, I really anticipated that I would be losing weight quicker. And I know that that's a false hope. I mean, if you think about it, being on this journey, I've now lost 12 pounds and I've been only doing it for 7 weeks. So that's more than a pound a week on average. At my age, with my health conditions, that ain't bad. Like, that's normal, healthy weight loss. That's sustainable weight loss. And so I'm not disappointed. I'm one of those instant gratification gals, right? I want it and I want it now. Again, thanks so much for being here, following me on this journey. If you've enjoyed this content, if there's anything that you can relate to, please go ahead and smash that like button. Please hit subscribe so that you can get notified every time I post a new video. And leave me a comment. I just want to start that community around carnivore and, us being on YouTube and sharing our journey and helping motivate and inspire each other. So yeah, I appreciate you. And as always, go out, live your life full out with passion and purpose, and make it a great day. I hope to see you on another video. Take care.